Greetings, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Breakdown with DJ Odyccy. And this is the second part where I'm dealing with the chords and melodies of my Afro house, tribal house production. And I'm hoping that you guys learned something from the drums. And now we're getting into the chords and melodies and how you build up chords and melodies. I don't know if I'm going to show you more into that, but hey, man, stick around. Let me play you what I did so far. So while you were busy chilling, I made these chords. So like so believe it or not, this comes from the same drums that we were doing last time. I haven't done anything to them. I just took out some of the drums just to show you like it can sound like this. Otherwise, this is how it actually sounds. Nah. Like this how the what I did um, after the drums. So yeah, we're gonna break this down. So yeah, like what I just did now, I had to like take off these slabs, the shakers, the hot percussions, just to make you see what it might sound like. So let's get into this track. So I started off with the mallets, like, but the mallets are using the chords anyway. It's like your bells, but this time your plugs. Something that you can use, which is it's a little bit percussive, but it has like sounds like real keys and everything. So that's how it sounds like. Basically, let me get. So if I remember very well, I used the G major for this one. You understand? So it looks like this. So if you check this out, every note is on the gray part of everything. Just like I did with the Piano, the soulful Piano one. Is just take this, put this here, jump one gray, put another gray, and you have this. Again, you put here, jump one gray, and then in this one, like the chords are not too. So the only thing I did was take this one off from down here. One, two, three. As you can see, it just jumped, but I made it like an octave high and put it this top. So there's the reason why this one has two here, because initially it's here. So the chords are just too easy, too basic, and then it's nothing to it. The only thing is to find like the bass part where you like I want it to sound like one, two, three, four. That's all I needed to actually make this, and then it sounded. So these are mallets. These are so it's a Celeste inside Expand 2. It's a Celeste inside Mallet. Let me show you inside Mallet. Mallets, and then you have it's the first sound anyway. So yeah, and then that's what I came up with first, and then so the next thing I added was like a piano. I used Nexus for the piano. That's how it looks. So you get into dance orchestra and you find a piano concert, and then you are great to go. And then this is how it looks. As you can see as well, it's on the grays. So now you know that you are on G major, and then The next thing I added, this is very simple. It's a very simple beat, but you just have to think when you do it. I used the brass this time, not a lead. I used the brass for like your fifth, your minor key. This is the minor. This is the minor of a G. This is G major, and this is the minor of it. The minor has to be E minor. It's G major in terms of scales and everything. So I used the brass inside dance orchestra. There's victory brass. That's the one that I used for this one. And then you saw the keys. That's how they look. And then in terms of, because I need to make sure that you guys understand the mixing part. Let's get back into the mallets again. So I'm sorry for going back, but I want to explain like a couple of things. So I'll come into here and then so I'll get into the mixer. So the mixer looks like this. These are the mallets, and then so I wanted to make sure that I hear the highs as well, but I don't want to hear the lows. And then again, like I said, mostly whenever you're using sound, make sure that anything less than 20 hertz you cut off in the frequencies, and then you make it like, and then again, like the bass is what can make your mixes sound muddy. So make sure that you don't have a lot of basses into your song. So I cut it off until like 150, 159, and then I also cut off the highs. Again, anything more than 10,000, again in the highs, you don't necessarily hear much, but you can probably hear it, but you don't hear it much, So from 100, like from 10K, is it from 10K upwards? Normally you can't hear those, but you want to take them off because in the basses they are there, they actually are playing, so you want to cut them off as well. So you cut off this part and then you cut off this part, and then this is like the first thing you do. You're just making sure that your sounds are clean, and then in another part of mixing is another person will add another EQ maybe to actually deal with maybe you want to boost something into this, like maybe like there's something which you can't hear, and then maybe you can but you don't want to do it with the bass. So maybe somewhere here you might like boost a little bit, but it's up to you how you want it to sound. Like sometimes for me, if a sound sounds nice, I don't want to like deal with it too much. The only thing I want to deal with is if like number one into mixing is you have to find the right sound, like a sound that sounds nice for you, and then number two, you just cut off the lows and the highs. Anything more than 10K normally you can cut it off. Anything less than 22K, 20 hertz, not 20K hertz, 20 hertz, less than 20 hertz, you cut it off, and then you are left with a sound which is not gonna sound muddy when you add other sounds, because every sound that you put in, you make sure that you cut off those, and then after that you can boost whatever that you want to boost. So yeah, it's just that way. So because if you take it like this, it's muddy. It has a bass. It's nice if you're not gonna add a bass line, but you wanna, then it's cleaner. So because the moment you put a bass line into this, you might have a problem when you only have all the lows inside, and then you can't hear your bass line well, or your bass line is gonna clash with this sound. So you want to make sure that nothing clashes. So yeah, that's what I did on the mix. So, and then the piano, I didn't do much on it. As well, you can just do this. It doesn't do much difference, but you have cut off a lot of things. You're making sure that everything is clean. I added what? The brass. As you can see, I already cut off the lows because the brass normally already has those lows. And then making it reach this far, it means I want to hear the highs from the brass, but I don't want to be muddy. Because normally this has like sounds, but you will not hear. You don't hear it. You're starting to hear it once I reach like 10K, like 9K here. You can hear a little bit of that, of those highs, and then now you're starting to hear it, and then like I was saying, anything more than 100, anything more than a 10K, more than 10K hertz, like normally you cannot really hear. So you wanna cut off until 10K, and then excuse me, you wanna cut off until 10K, and then you wanna cut off 2K, the 220 hertz. I mean, until where you feel like you want your maybe your brass to sound from here, because you don't want everything to have lows. Everything must share. They must also share frequencies. So yeah. So yeah. And then the next thing I added onto this after the brass was the strings. The strings are using the same chords. I didn't change much. I didn't change anything. I just made these things longer, and then make sure that it doesn't hit to like the mallets, but they go straight. So once you got this, and then I used expand for these strings. I used the big soft strings. It's just number 2 here, and then that's what I used. And then let's hear something. This is how the EQ looks. For now, what I do whenever I make a beat is just make sure that I know what I want when I put a string. Like I just want this part of the string in terms of frequencies in the EQ. And then like when it comes to you have to know that I have to chop up this part until this part. Sometimes you want the string to have the highs. By this time I did not want the highs from the strings, and I did not want the lows still, because the lows will just clash with my bass lines. So I know that I don't want to clash my bass lines with anything. I don't want to clash my highs with anything. If something has highs, I don't want to do that. So I just want to make sure that everything sounds well into it. So I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm doing. I hope I'm not taking too much time explaining these things. And now I added a guitar. It sounds like this. With my guitars, normally that's what I do. I just right click there, and then I do radio. Okay, let's just do it. I do radio, and then the more I increase this part, I just get the highs. I just want to get a little bit of the highs. That's it. That's what I did. That's what I did. Nothing major. And then the guitar. Let's get to the guitar. The guitar use muted clean, and then it looks like this. And then from there, what I did was add another guitar. That's how it looks. So this guitar is the jazz guitar. It's the jazz guitar thing, as you can see. And then that's how it looks as well. The EQ, it means I just did the radio thing, because I don't know. I feel like it gives the guitar that thing of it to actually shine into the song. So it has that radio effect, but the guitar isn't necessarily. It's not like a vocal. It's a vocal in its way, but it's like it's not a vocal like somebody singing, but it's a vocal in terms of it having some melody, and it gives you some amazing things. So that's why I just put on like a nice radio effect, and then sometimes just add a little bit of highs on it, and that sums up what I did to actually do the melodies and everything. And then when the song is complete, I still have to go to the next one where I want to do the bass line. Um, so it was like the second part of the 4 part series. So next thing, I'm gonna add a bass into the song, and then the other part I'm gonna add. And we're gonna do like a simple arrangement. So meaning we're gonna deal with automations, um, copy and pasting in here. We're going to be dealing with the playlist basically, and then so yeah. So next one is the bass line, and then from there we're gonna be doing arrangement. So be there to stick around. Make sure you stick around for the next two um parts of the series. So yeah, that's how it sounds complete.